For this assignment, I'm going to talk to you about inattentional blindness. Inattentional blindness is the ability to purposely block out all but one bit of sensory input to focus on one thing only. Something related to inattentional blindness is change blindness. Change blindness is when people do not notice a change in scenery after a brief interruption. An example of change blindness is in the scene where person A is getting directions from a bystander, then is interrupted by construction workers. Then, while he's interrupted by construction workers, he is replaced with a second person. The bystander does not realize that they switched from person A to person B about 40% of the time. My third term is pop out. Pop out is when one thing stands out in a group of different things, which makes it stand out even more than it already does. For instance, if you're in a room with 100 black cats and there's one white cat, that one white cat will be much more noticeable to you than all the other black cats. For my experiment, I am asking the question, what percent of people are affected by inattentional blindness? I hypothesize that 50% of people will be fully affected by inattentional blindness and not see the gorilla cross the screen. Additionally, 25% of people will have the ability to notice the change in the scene, the gorilla, while still maintaining primary focus of counting correctly how many passes were thrown by the white team. The other 25% of people will have the ability to notice the gorilla on the screen, but will not be able to keep their focus enough to count the correct number of passes the white team throws. The subjects I have chosen for this experiment have been randomly selected with a wide range of ages and intelligence. Now on to the experiment. The first step of the experiment is to show the test subjects a video of the basketball players and the gorilla. The subjects will be solely focused on counting the number of passes thrown by the white team players. After the video ends, I will ask the subjects how many passes they counted, and then ask if they saw any animal on the screen that was not a human. If the contestants see anything from a man in a monkey costume to a gorilla or ape, this will count as noticing the change in the scene and will be calculated in that fashion.
You're so quiet.
Counting.
Yeah.
How many passes did you count?
How many passes did you count, Dad?
15.
Mom, how many passes did you count?
14.
Okay. Next question. Did you see any type of animal besides a human cross the path of the screen?
I think there was an ape.
This data table shows the results of this experiment. Out of the 21 people that were tested, 6 people saw the correct number of passes, 7 people saw the gorilla and the wrong number of passes, and 8 people did not see the gorilla. This equates to 62% of people being able to see the gorilla. To conclude, 13 out of 21 people, or 62% of people, were able to see the gorilla and were not inattentionally blind. This means that only about 38% of people were completely inattentionally blind. My hypothesis was incorrect, as I hypothesized that the majority of the people would be affected by inattentional blindness. Now on to some fun facts about inattentional blindness. Number 1. Humans process the whole face and not just individual parts of the face. Therefore, if someone changes something such as taking off their glasses, it is easy for us to tell that something is different about their face, but it's not easy for us to tell what is actually wrong with their face. Secondly, it is easier to spot changes in objects than changes in color. There was an experiment done that showed volunteers a series of pictures and asked them what had changed. This experiment found that the more people noticed slight changes in objects in the picture than the entire color of the picture changing. Thirdly, it is possible to choose what we change and what we do not change. In an experiment done at Plymouth University, volunteers were told to look at images of bowls of fruit, and when they saw a change in the fruit, they were asked to pick up a device. This experiment concluded that the size of the device people were asked to pick up affected what fruit people saw changes in. If the volunteers were asked to pick up a small device, they would usually find a change in a smaller fruit, such as an apple. When volunteers were shown a larger device, they saw changes in a larger fruit, such as a banana.